Let's look at the best 5 clubs: Leverkusen, Atalanta, Real Madrid, Bologna, and Bournemouth. Question for you, both of you: which of Bologna and Bournemouth were more impressive to you, and why?
Do you want to go first, Dean?
Sure. Thank you. I will go with Bologna because I just think the size of their achievement was bigger than what Bournemouth have done so far this season, even though Bournemouth have been very impressive. And I do think, I mean, we saw the sort of like the proof of the validation of Thiago Motta's methods in that, you know, his best players got transfers to bigger clubs. He himself, as a manager, went to Juventus. On the other hand, Bournemouth, and this is not a criticism, what they do is essentially, they remind me a bit of when Bielsa brought Leeds to the Premier League, and he was sort of the only one doing this whole 1v1 pressing all over the field thing, and it was just a different thing from everybody else was doing, and no one really got used to it for like a full season or two before they figured it out, and they eventually went back down. I think Bournemouth are kind of similar to that in that it's a style that can work at a mid-table level and surprise people for a while, but I don't know that Iraola can use that system at a club like, say, United or Chelsea or you know, it's not going to work.
That's the thing. That style is tailor made for teams playing 1 game a week. That's the issue there. Like, so he's fighting, like, and I think he's smart enough to know that as well. Like, he knows, look, we're Bournemouth, we're not playing in Europe. You know what I'm saying? Like, our December and January schedule is our schedule for the whole season anyway. Like, it's 1 game a week regardless, kind of thing. So he knows he can get Semenyo to literally track his man for 90 minutes. Doesn't matter to him. Doesn't matter to Semenyo because he's going to have another 6 days to recover for that anyway. So, but just on saying that, the reason why I feel like Bournemouth, I wouldn't say it's more impressive than Bologna, but it deserves a mention, is the fact that they only give you 1,000 tickets for the away fans, bro. Their stadium is tiny. They ain't got money. No, I'm joking. But yeah, like, put it like this: there is, how many of those Bournemouth players in general do you think could make a good career right now at their current level at a top 6 club? So let's go through how many of their defenders.
More than you think.
How many of their defenders, guys?
Senesi is good. Kirkes is good.
Okay.
Hoyson is going to play at Real Madrid someday.
Yes.
I will say this. I will say this at the current level. Kirkes to me is the only one right now at his current level. I'm like, okay, you could do a job in the top six team, right? Let's go to their midfield.
Midfield is their weakest area of the pitch.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Christie,
Lewis, Cook, and some other cunts in there.
Christie, Cook. Can we count Clavet? Not Clavet.
No,
sorry.
Not really.
Who's the guy that plays behind? Yeah, Clavet. Yeah, actually, no, you're right. Actually, because Clavet does play behind, but yeah. Okay. Again, there isn't much there, right? And then we look at their wingers and their attackers now. Really and truly, right now, it's probably only Semenyo. So with that being said,
Evan Nelson was a Champions League player before he got there. Like, just because he stepped down a level doesn't make him a lesser player all of a sudden.
That is true, actually. So we're looking at 2. So if we're being honest, right? Out of that whole entire team, we've picked up like 4 or 5 guys that we say right now they can make a good career at top 6 club kind of thing. That's the point I'm making. He's getting a lot more out of these players. Like, he's getting a ton out of these players. That's why I think it's really impressive. And on top of that as well, just tactically, Iraola could himself easily coach one of the top 6 clubs, not just in the Premier League, in Europe.
I don't know. I think he has a bit too much of the Emery's about him. I think aura is important. We saw it with Ten Hag. He showed up and was talking all that shit, and no one really believed him because he just ain't got it. I feel like Iraola has that same Emery dour, I used to be a vampire thing going on.
Maybe his body language and his gait, maybe, I suppose, but his teams do it on the pitch, is what I'm saying. Whereas Ten Hag will talk all that shit, and then you've got literally the space between fucking Nigeria and London, between your midfield and defense. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, he'll talk all that shit. Whereas Iraola doesn't really talk shit like that, but his teams, you actually see it on the pitch every single week. They all run the hell out of him for this guy. Like, they really do. So yeah.
I enjoyed Bologna just because it was so refreshing to see Thiago Motta, like the nerd on the pitch, translating to the nerd as the coach. So that was really impressive. And like, he got some really good, like, hipster-ass players, like Calafiori's now at Arsenal. I like Joe Lukumi still. So it's just like, even Xerxes, even though it's not looking good him at United, like, he's got the best out of these players. You know, they're looking good. So I like the way he was playing at at Bologna. They impressed me a lot. Especially watching Serie A week in and week out. I was like, whoa, this is fun. This is refreshing. Obviously, Juventus is a whole nother kettle of fish, but they did well. He did well over there. So that's why I enjoyed that.
Hey, folks, this is Dean from the Shirtless Plantain Show. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and follow us on all our socials. You can see them right beneath our recordings in every video. Thanks again, and see you on the next one.